Yearly name differences aside, you've got to remember both the S21 FE and the base S22 were both released this year in 2022 with only a month difference between each other. Fluctuating prices aside, which one really stands out to be the one to get? Hi, Ben from SamMobile. If you enjoy new and exclusive videos like this, then be sure to like, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos on YouTube with SamMobile TV. Here is our quick fire comparison between the S22 and the S21 FE. This will be a quick fire comparison. We still highly recommend you watch our detailed individual reviews and test on both the S22 and the S21 FE. With that out of the way, let's get into it. If design and build quality is something to take away and absolutely something you value as top priority, then without a doubt the S22 takes the win. The materials on the S22 are the latest using Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus at the front, and the back armor aluminium for the frame. And then when it comes to the design, the chamfered cut trims around the camera module at the back, and lastly the soft frosted matte finish on the back glass. This is Samsung pulling out all the stops for their top tier feeling when it comes to using a flagship device. And I still think the only downside to the S22 is the glossy finish of the rounded shaped metal frame, which adds more fingerprints than I'd like. The S21 FE holds its own well enough in this department and is still well put together. The use of plastic at the back with Corning Gorilla Glass Victus at the front for the display, and how clean and easy it is to grip and hold the metal rail, really makes for what feels like a really nice phone to hold compared to the previous S20 FE. That being said, the feel of the plastic at the back, even with the more matte finish, it still doesn't come close to how nice and premium it feels compares to the S22. On paper, both the display and audio experience are basically the same, but there is more than meets the eye when it comes to how the specs are implemented and also what that means in the real world when using it day to day. Yes, both are using flat, full high definition plus resolution 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display panels. When looking deeper, there are differences to spot out. Firstly, the S22. The display size is measured at 6.1 inches. The refresh rate is adaptive using LTPO tech, and also the peak brightness does reach up all the way up to 1300 nits. Now when it comes to the S21 FE, it does have a bigger display size at 6.4 inches, but it does lack the efficient LTPO display tech, which is variable refresh rate, that you find on the S22, and it still doesn't get as bright as the S22. Some of the things that you don't see on the spec sheets with the display experience, which sets them apart, are things like the haptic vibration motor feedback, which is far superior on the S22, and also the position of the fingerprint scanner with the implementation method. Let's look at the S22, and it's using the ultrasonic generation 2 scanner compared to the optical scanner on the S21 FE, and makes a huge difference in speed, accuracy and consistency when biometrically unlocking your phone. Now the real cherry on top is the design of the display. The S22 is Samsung's real first attempt of making a phone with completely thin, even, symmetrical bezels all around, and with the small hole punch at the top, makes for the best visual experience found on a smartphone display so far. Bar the thicker chin bezel and the bigger hole punch, the S21 FE feels and follows very close for what feels like a great front design for the display. Now both are using dual stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos support and sound very much the same in terms of the volume and clarity, but I would say side by side the S22 might have a slightly fuller sound with slightly more bass, but the difference is not enough to notice in my opinion. A quick word from my channel affiliate partner NordVPN. As our preferred VPN of choice, NordVPN gives you a secure connection while keeping it a fast speed, and also access to content in different regions on popular services like Netflix. Use our unique link for your NordVPN plan and our coupon code SamMobile, backed with a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. Now, things may vary in your region, but as I'm based in the UK, this is for the better or worse an Exynos versus Snapdragon situation with the specs and the performance on both these devices. Let's start with the S22. It is using the newer Exynos 2200 based on a 4nm processor with 5G support, 8GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage. Let's flip over to the S21 FE on the other hand, which is using the previous Snapdragon 888 based on a 5nm process with 5G support, 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage. Now look, generally speaking, the day-to-day performance on both these devices hold up well, which should not really come as a surprise. Now, when looking at the base models, I would have generally a bit more confidence in the S22 and how it would actually last a bit longer due to having more RAM, but you know what, the S21 FE should be equally as good. Now, although I'm not much of a mobile gamer, you do have to consider that usually the Snapdragon chipset tends to have better optimization and support for games when it comes to visuals and performance compared to the Exynos counterpart. Now, performance differences aside, when it comes to the chipset, one thing that really stands out is camera performance, which we will touch on next, but generally speaking, the overall performance is great on both these devices. Let's talk about the cameras, and this would be a great time to mention that we did an extensive camera comparison on both these devices and we highly recommend watching it. Now, the quick and short of it is that yes, as you would expect, the S22 does indeed have the better overall camera system with excellent video shooting mode when it comes to the features, quality, dynamic range, and most importantly, video stabilization in most, if not all, the video shooting modes. The improvement to edge detection and background blur on the S22 definitely shows and makes for a more reliable shooting experience when taking portrait mode shots. All these things definitely are a win when it comes to using a camera on the S22. Where things really change in my testing findings and opinion is that personally, the S21 FE has better image processing when it comes to taking pictures and produce, subjectively in my opinion, nicer and more vibrant images, especially in dynamic range situations with better shadow detail performance. On top of that, it punches way above its weight when using night mode on a main sensor, which in the end actually beats out the S22 even with its new 50 megapixel sensor. This really comes down to the ISP performance differences on the Exynos 2200 versus the Snapdragon 888, which really allows the S21 FE's main sensor and ultrawide to punch above its weight when it comes to taking pictures. This section here is definitely a quick one as the software experience is on par on both. One UI 4.1 with Android 12 is at the center of the user experience with core features as we've gone over before, like RAM+, color palette, privacy control, new widgets and accessibility. As well as the performance being good with the specs under the hood, Samsung's promise of 4 OS version updates should see both the S22 and the S21 FE good until Android 16, so you should be good with either one. When it comes to the battery life, the S21 FE takes a confident win here with its larger 4,500 mAh battery compared to the much smaller 3,700 mAh battery on the S22. Battery capacity aside, the S21 FE generally gives you a confident 6 to 7 hours of screen on time when it comes to using it compared to the 3 to 4 hours experienced on the S22. Both have the same wired charging speeds at 25 watts and 15 watt wireless charging with wireless power share to charge other devices as well. Considering the starting MSRP directly from Samsung in the UK is £699 for the Galaxy S21 FE and £769 for the S22 with the configurations I'm using in this comparison, it seems like paying the extra for the S22 in a way is better value. If you can actually get the S21 FE on a lower than MSRP price, backed with the better battery and a more consistent performance objectively when taking pictures, the value then swings to the side of the Fan Edition. Which one would you pick? Let us know in the comment section below. For the latest news in the world of Samsung Daily, be sure to visit us at SamMobile.com. For the latest videos on YouTube with SamMobile TV, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications, and we will see you next time.